If you ever felt like something is missing, like you're moving through life on autopilot, not quite sad, not quite okay, just empty, well, this episode is for you. Emptiness can feel like a silent fog, not painful, just dull, quiet, but haunting. And you're not the first to feel it. In fact, some of the greatest minds in psychology have spent their lives trying to understand exactly this. So today, let's go back in time. We're going to trace this feeling through Freud, Frankl, Maslow, Rogers, Rollo May. And maybe by the end, you'll see your own story in theirs. Let's start with Freud. Now, Freud had some wild theories, but on emptiness, he was onto something. He believed our minds are constantly juggling three forces: the ID, what we really want; the superego, what society says we should want; and the ego, the manager in between. And we push down our true desires for too long, when we perform instead of live, something inside us goes quiet. Freud would said that emptiness is the result of repression. Feelings been never let out, truths been never lived, and those buried parts, they don't die, they just wait. Fast forward a few decades to Viktor Frankl. He was a psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor. He lost everything but noticed something strange. Some people still found hope, even joy. Why? Frankl realized the real danger isn't the pain, it's meaninglessness, what he called the existential vacuum. When your life lacks direction, when there's no why, emptiness floats in. That's what he traded most, even after the war. Not trauma, but the ache of a life that felt pointless. Ever heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs? You know, the pyramid: food, safety, belonging, esteem, and at the top, self actualization. What most people don't know is that Maslow added another level later in life: self transcendence. Because he noticed something. Even when people had it all, the partner, the career, the success, they still felt lost. Why? Because they hadn't gone beyond the self. They hadn't connected to something bigger. So Maslow changed his theory. He said the goal isn't just to become the best version of yourself, it's to lose yourself in something meaningful. Carl Rogers, the humanistic legend, had a different take. He said the deeper the gap between who you are and who you think you should be, the more distress you feel. Many of us live in that gap. You perform, you shapeshift, you smile when you're dying inside, and one day you forget who you even are. Rogers believed that emptiness is a sign you've lost connection with your real self. Not because you're weak, but you've been trying so hard to be good that you forgot how to be true yourself. Rollo May, one of the great existential psychologists, said something radical. Emptiness isn't a mistake, it's part of being human. He said that when we face freedom, real, terrifying freedom, we often freeze. We shut down, not because we don't care, but because we're afraid to choose, afraid to fail. And that's when the void creeps in. But May also said this: that void is a space where meaning can grow. It's not the end, it's the beginning of something real. So, if you feel empty, don't rush to fill it. Sit with it. It's a message. Maybe you've been silencing your true desires. Maybe you've been living someone else's dream. Maybe you've achieved everything except what your heart actually wanted. But the silence inside you, this ache, it's not the end of the story. It's the first page of a new one. You're not broken, you're becoming. Thank you for listening. You're not alone.